There are a lot of questions that we have regarding our young Chicago Bulls with all the new additions, with some of the moves and the people that's still here. We got a lot of questions. So the question that I have today for you all is, which Chicago Bulls players are under the most pressure? And then ESPN said we winning 30 games. Y'all know we're going to talk about it and break it down, but you got to hear the music first.
Cognac. Gang.
Shy Bulls Podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding it down on today's daily episode. If you're tuned in, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell as well. Hey, we looking at this Chicago Bulls team, and there's a lot of opinions that we can have on this squad. It's a lot of things that we can look at, but I want to look at the individuals. So which Chicago Bulls players are under the most pressure this upcoming season? We got to kick it off with none other than Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine on the Chicago Bulls has had an up and down tenure. He's been here. He's been down with injuries. He's had all-star appearances. He had DeMar DeRozan with him. He hadn't had much success up in the playoffs. And right now, the reputation of Zach LaVine is not in a good place around the NBA, not even within his own squad, because we know that the damn team source came out and gave his quote and said Zach LaVine is not a winning player. Did he lie? No. You know what I'm saying? Those was his opinions. You know what I'm saying? But if we provide context with it, the Bulls haven't done a good enough job to help improve or give a chance for winning. So nobody on the Chicago Bulls should be excluded from the criticism. But Zach LaVine is the one that's getting the most smoke. Teams, you seeing reports of teams saying, "Nah, we don't want him." Yeah, and then you got, "Nah, we ain't giving you what you think you about to get, AK and Mark Eversley." We getting some of those, and people are ignoring the fact that this guy's a two-time All-Star. And last year, look, it was bad. I give you that. But the years prior, my man's was on over 20 plus points per game. Balling out, doing what he was supposed to do. Wasn't his fault that the Chicago Bulls didn't make moves to try to improve the point guard position when Lonzo Ball went down. Wasn't his fault. We knew that was a necessity. We knew we had to address that. But nonetheless, all the blame is getting placed on Zach LaVine. So Zach LaVine right now is under the most pressure simply because he also requested that damn trade. So along with the scrutiny and criticism, he requested that trade. Zach LaVine is number one. Number two is none other than Patrick P. Passive P. Patrick Williams. My guy has been injured 2 of the 4 seasons that he's been a Chicago Bull. A lot of his performances have been underwhelming, and he just got the bag. None of my business. I don't really care. But nonetheless, when players in sports get the bag, expectations arise. Not just from us as the fans, but within the organization itself. And Patrick Williams, we know the guy has all the intangible and attributes that you want to have in a young wing player like Patrick Williams. This guy, we've seen him improve. You know what I'm saying? It might not always reflect in the box score, but he has improved. Remember those dunks he was boinking? He dunking them now. He dunking them now. That 3-point shot, he is no question. Based off the percentage, he's the best 3-point shooter on the Chicago Bulls. The defensive ability, all the things that you want to see, he has all the tools to where the people was calling him Baby Kawhi. He even called the man the Paul. Come on, y'all. So Patrick Williams, he is the next player that is under the most pressure, in my opinion. After that, we move on and turn to Josh Giddey. He is that player under the most pressure right after LaVine and Patrick Williams. Why? Because Sam Presti, when he traded him, said that he wanted to give him an opportunity to go elsewhere because on the Oklahoma City Thunder, he was going to be coming off the bench. So this is a guy that the Bulls picked up who was a starter, but his team felt like he was supposed to be on the bench. And now we trying to see if he can come and be a starter for the foreseeable future for the Chicago Bulls. And he's on the last year of that deal. You want to get this bag or no? That's the biggest question. Do you want to get this bag? And we know Josh Giddey, he needs to show some consistency on the offensive side of the ball. He needs to show consistency on the defensive side of the ball. He had a solid, I would say it was pretty damn good Olympics. He was hitting the three. He was getting downhill. You know what I'm saying? He was operating and passing and moving the offense along during transition on the defensive side. There are some games to where you could say, damn, they really hunting now Josh Giddey. But there is also some games to where he was holding his own if we are evaluating everything fairly. You know what I'm saying? And Josh Giddey, I said I was going to sit down with your approach and say, hey, you want to take this 20 mil? If the Bulls do that, do you decline and bet on yourself? What about the stigma that everybody pretty much was saying that, you know what I mean, the criticism that everybody was placing out there saying, look at your playoffs, big dog. And the Chicago Bulls have had an issue at the point guard position for a while now. And the trade for Josh Giddey gave up Alex Caruso straight up. And I've said it plenty of times. The trade that the Bulls made between Josh Giddey and Alex Caruso told me that the Bulls believe he is a part of the future and that no draft pick that you can give them in 2025 or 2026 with the coin bag of picks that the Oklahoma City Thunder have, the Bulls told us he's the guy. That's pressure. That's pressure. So you got to rise up to it or you going to fall. The last player, it might not be a lot of pressure, but I look at it as some type of pressure. Dalen Terry. And that is because he had a great second half of the season last year. And now the Chicago Bulls bring in more players to crowd the rotations. I believe Dalen Terry is one of those guys that is going to give the Chicago Bulls a little bit of everything. He can go ahead and initiate some offense. He can get out in transition. He can play a little bit off ball. Hopefully get that spot up three-point shot together. He can get in the passing lanes on the defensive side. He can be on ball. He can rebound. He does a little bit of everything, but we want to see him take that step forward. Why? Because Julian Phillips is right there. Early on in the season, we like, hey, Dalen, Julian looking a little bit more comfortable, my boy, than you. Julian goes down. Dalen Terry rise up. Now we want to see if he can continue to rise up, especially with all the work that we've been seeing from this young guy the entire offseason. You got Julian Phillips there. They just brought in Chris Duarte. Lonzo Ball is coming back. Ayo Dosunmu is out there. Kobe White is out there. Zach LaVine is out there. Javon Carter is out there. So it's going to be some challenges that you got to go through to see if you can rise to this. I'm just anxious and I'm curious to see. Now I know C-Dub, when he hit this, he going to be like, why you ain't say Vooch? Because I don't care how much pressure is on Vooch, bro still going to be sassy. And I ain't going to lie to you. I don't even really want to focus on dude right now. We know he talked greasy. He did. But the Bulls still believe in something about him. Not me. But I gave you my list. It's my list of players that are under the most pressure this season. That's Zach LaVine, Patrick Williams, Josh Giddey, Dalen Terry. Y'all let me know how y'all feeling about that list. How would your list look? Let me know if you agree or disagree with what I'm putting out there. But to end the show, we got to talk about ESPN coming out and pretty much saying that they got the Chicago Bulls this upcoming season going 30-52. I don't think it's a bad projection. Because if y'all remember, just a few days ago on the daily episode, I said I got the Bulls penciled in, at least right now for me, before I see anybody play anything, in between 30 and 35 games. So if we got 30 and 52, ESPN is right on par. They right on par. Now, if they would have came out and said that the Bulls gonna win 20 games, then I gotta talk to some people. But they hit right on the minimum line of the projection for me. So I can't argue with it. I ain't even gonna lie to you. So 30 and 52, I say is reasonable. I say the Chicago Bulls could very well underperform and be below that. I think the chances are very, very slim. Just a personal opinion. But anything over 30, we start trending up to, hey, this might be a decent little young squad. Can we continue to add to this? Because if the Chicago Bulls, let's just say for the sake of discussion, came out and won 37 games, they won 39 last year, y'all probably will say, hey, let's, you know what I'm saying? These young Bulls came out and hooped. And that's telling me if these guys came out and had that 30 and 50, 37 wins, that means we seen some good performances out of Giddey, Kobe White, Ayo Dosunmu's been showing up. Patrick Williams is being the player that we believe that he could potentially be now that DeMar DeRozan is out the way. I'm just saying, as long as we protect the top 10 pick, I'm for everything. I'm not even lying. I just don't want the Chicago Bulls to purposely tank because that hasn't worked out for a lot of teams lately. So I don't even want to get involved with that. But if you, I ain't gonna lie, a 2-game tank, we in it. Pull a Dallas Mavericks. You get close to the season, you want to increase your odds, you be like, yeah, to hell with the play in. Let's just avoid it totally. Hey, tank the 2 games, we Gucci. That's it. But we ain't going whole seasons. I ain't gonna lie to you. Can't go no whole seasons. No whole seasons purposely losing games. And I think that these guys got chips on their shoulders anyway. And the way that Kobe White said that him and Ayo Dosunmu now want to step up in the leadership role. Josh Giddey with the chip on his shoulder after people telling him that he gonna be benched. Patrick Williams, no DeMar DeRozan in the way, and people saying that, hey, Patrick Williams, you got that bag, and Patrick Williams pretty much saying that I got y'all. I understand that it's now I gotta elevate my game. Billy Donovan got to elevate that game too, big dog. But nonetheless, if the Bulls get 30 to 35 wins, I'm cool. If they start getting over 35 wins, I'm like, oh. So that's it for me today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode of Shy Bulls Podcast. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you want to be a part of our mailbag episodes that is going to take place this weekend, call in, state your name, leave your take on anything Chicago Bulls. The number to do so is 773-242-9219. Thank y'all so much, Bulls Nation. Always see red. You already know. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure.
Cognac. Gang.